give me the time to say a couple things. I do want to thank Malvern Books for this beautiful space, and I would like to remind you all that you're in a very unusual and almost magical place here. There's poetry on this side, fiction on this side, and all kinds of stuff in the middle. So before you leave, if you can't buy anything off, well, some of our people have books over here on the table that you're going to read from tonight too, so that's another option. But don't leave without a book. You'd be sorry if you did, because this is just such an amazing place. And also, I need to thank the City of Austin Cultural Arts Department for their ongoing support of our organization. I don't think we could do it and pay our authors without it. And I mean, that's why we're here. So, Jerica Glover's up next.
Hi, my name is Jerica Glover. I'm the secretary on the Callista Gaia Press Board of Directors. I am tasked with taking quick, precise notes and keeping time during the meetings, which is ironic because I'm usually late and I'm also long-winded, so they keep me around for laughing, I guess. I am also fortunate to be able to critique some of our short stories that are submitted into us. The amount of submissions is sometimes overwhelming, and so it kind of takes a village, which is fitting since the Ocotillo Review is a very beloved child. You know, it's something that we all want to see prosper and grow into something fantastic and be like, yeah, we did that. And so far it's going pretty well. We pride ourselves on connecting with the submitter, I guess is the word, the author. We want to make sure that everybody knows that we are reading what you are giving us, and we very often enjoy it. And so usually with the critiquing process, we pass it around, board members, editors alike. We each read it, we kind of take it in, we read it again, we take it in some more, we read it maybe a couple more times. We write notes, and then we share it with each other so that we can kind of all get something out of it. If you didn't quite get what I got, then maybe we can talk about it, and if not, then we'll figure it out later. We mostly just want to know with our critiquing processes, we want you to know that we do read what you send us in. It's not just one person looking through it. We're not looking at it with tired eyes. We come back with fresh minds. We come back to, really try and take in what you send us and find the meaning in it that you want us to find in it. And we always try to make sure that everyone knows that we're taking that time, and we really do appreciate everything that you contribute towards what we have. Our next author is actually a contributor. She's been published twice in the Texas Poetry Calendar and has also been twice, right, in Texas Poetry Calendar?
Me.
Yes.
3, I think. Maybe
Okay.
2 or 3.
17 and 19 for sure.
Yeah.
I'll find the other one.
I think it was before y'all took it over.
Ah, gotcha. And she's also in this volume of the Ocotillo Review. Diana L. Conces, is a poet and fiction writer from Austin, Texas. She was nominated for a Pushcart Prize in 2018 and was a finalist in Public Poetry's Art Lines 2 contest. One of her poems has traveled the streets of Austin on a Capital Metro bus. Another appeared in the San Antonio Express News. Over 6 dozen others have appeared in print and online journals around the country. Her middle grade comic adventure novel, The Golden Feather, was published in 2018 in a collection of her poems of Place, Blue Skies and Blacktop, available on the back table, was released in 2019. A lesson she learned in 2012, as quoted on her blog, poetry people are the best people. Good friends can get you through anything. Being authentic means putting your words and your work out there and taking risks. So please help me welcome Diana Conces.
Yes.
So my poem in here is part of kind of a project I was doing of really short, quick poems every day. It got a little bit longer. Most of them are 6 or 7 line poems. This one kind of blossomed a little bit. It's a memory of my mother, and it's kind of surrounded by stories and poems about people's mothers too. It's called Riding Free. Raised on sand, seagulls, and palms, where elevation change is an overpass, Mother drove us to Hot Springs on vacation. A typed postcard promised free lodging in exchange for a timeshare sales pitch. Zipping and leaning, we laughed up and down roller coaster hills. Her joy flew out the open window, chased robins around a jay blue sky, trees just teasing my outstretched fingers. As we careened around S-curves, grinning, I sideways glimpsed her, young and fierce and free. You never think of your parents as young when you're a teenager, but they were. So this particular book, I partnered with my daughter who did illustrations for it. So it was kind of a family project in a way. So this one is called Night, and there's her painting of night. Absent city lights, moonlight plummets, pure vertical, flattening trees, barn, fence into muddy shadows. Above, against the scattered dust of galaxies and airplane circles, fringing the horizon. So high it seems a wayward star sucked in by the vacuum of space. So high the raw explosion of its engine is reduced to the distant growl of an angry hound, insignificant in the brilliance of moonlight. The other thing about this book is they're all tied to places in Texas. So and the city is with each one. That one was at a retreat in Round Top, where you can actually see the stars because there's no city right around. Kind of cool how that works. Paintage Park for Eleanor. Turning the corner, tired, thoughts swerving, I sideways glimpsed the color of your eyes in Corpus Christi Bay, while the tired sun was dragging those last struggling rays over the threshold of night, in that one cerulean moment between headlights and streetlights, before the sky exhaled ink into the wind-stirred waves, and I pulled over to write myself home. We did a mom poem, I'll do a dad one. My dad was quite a card. He had an interesting sense of humor. It wasn't always appropriate. Seagull droppings. Memory darts, swoops, glides, spirals, scoops up a tall tale told on a distant coast by my father long ago. Picture this, dogs yapping at the surf, cooler anchoring the blue towel against the gusting wind. He wears orange and brown Hawaiian flowered trunks, one hand gesturing a Budweiser for emphasis, square glasses rimmed in blown sand, cigarette yellow teeth grinning. He's telling the same story the way he always does, devoid of sentiment or storks. How I was born one August evening, dusk melting into sand, when a seagull squirted me out, ugliest baby ever born, splat on the shores of the Gulf. The same shore where I now sit, laughing at as my own children chase whitecaps, their origin stories a prosaic account of doctors, hospitals, and fluorescent lighting. And from my son, evening's last rabbit. Across the field, he sees at last a rabbit, silhouetted against the fading dusk. Dancing shadows ruffle the grass, tickle rabbit's ears, tousle the boy's hair. Rabbit's eyes flick toward the thicket. The boy tenses, stay, wanting to hold in his eyes the wonder of small life, with sunsets, untracked fields, rising moonlight. Against the rush of cars and blaring billboards, the darkening hulk of apartments, the flickering blue lights of evening news, the smells of 100 dinners. Horns honk, rabbit bolts. Grass chases his small shadow into the suddenly dark trees, and the boy flees, the call to explore silenced by night and his mother's call for home.